Yeah, no. You just gotta chill.
Be relaxed. Like relax. Okay, for the next question, how do you navigate relationships and friendships with people from different backgrounds? Do you find that being African has an effect on any of these relationships?
I think since I was born here and grew up here, whereas before, like when we talked about it was more of like a fitting in thing, now it's like I could walk in all the different rooms and be comfortable because I've had practice, you know, switching my colors so many times. So it's like,
Code
oh,
switch.
when do you? Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Right.
Because
So,
I feel like when you grow up here, like most of the times, like you wouldn't find a large group of Africans to really be friends with, like especially when like in school. I could count on my hand how many Africans we had in our school, like
Yeah.
so it was like different. So you gotta have like a balance.
Yeah.
But like as I grew older, I started hanging out with more African friends.
yeah, yeah,
Let's say when I was in middle school and high school.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like sometimes it's like this weird dynamic. Like let's say you're the only African in your class, right? You got Black Americans in there and white kids, but you know, you're trying to fit in, like kind of, right? But then let's say there's another African kid that comes to your class, and then you're trying to get cool with them because
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh,
Another African.
right?
Welcome.
And they getting away from you because they trying to fit in.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like get out.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anybody else have something else to add? Or we can pause and talk about code switching for a second.
You say
but-
code switching.
I want to go
Yeah.
back to.
Okay, let's
I
do
want to
it.
go back to this one comment
Oh, what?
by Marv.
I'm gonna hold you on that code switching one though.
Okay.
What did Martha say?
He said, "African moms and their infamous. I had a dream last night." Wait,
Oh my God.
Yo,
No, I have a story for this. Like, which I can't even. Because there's so many of these stories, and after a while, you just start looking at your parent. Like, why are you lying? It could be time for you to go to a sleepover, go out to eat with a friend, go out to a party. It could be
Going
the
to
most
the
simplest
pool.
thing ever. Yeah, I had a dream. It's like you wasn't even just sleeping a second ago. I had a dream something bad happened, or I had a dream you got hurt, or I had a dream da 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 da. You could be singing a song. That song has bad words in it. That's why you shouldn't go. It's like what?
Yeah, and they be like, should we be yo?
What's that mean? What's that
going
mean?
to the like, take it, like watch out.
Yeah.
Like look out for.
You-
Yeah.
Okay.
cautious.
Okay.
Cautious. That's funny. Yeah,
But yeah.
they turned into Martin Luther King for sure. I have dreams, man.
Yeah, man, because it's like some weird dreams, and they like one time we were going to the beach, right, with my friends, and my parents, like my mom specifically, didn't want me to go because of a certain dream she's had in the past. So that's one thing like that happens.
That's like my mom with like swimming in water. So
Yeah,
African
water.
parents just terrified of their kids swimming in the water. Like were your parents ever
Oh,
terrified of
yeah.
that?
Mm-hmm.
My mom
me.
is still like that. You could be right there. The water could be touching your feet. Don't get swept up.
Yeah.
You'll die. Oh, da, da, da. Like tie a rope to your leg. Like I'm just like relax.
They made me take swimming
I'm
classes
about to
just,
say, me too.
just so they can feel comfortable with me, like around water and stuff. So.
Nah,
Hey,
she knows I
listen,
can swim,
man.
and she's still not.
Nah, I mean, I'm good. I'm a good swimmer, but still, she.
Yeah, it's like
So
still, it doesn't get rid of
Yeah,
it.
we'll be
Never
trying to go
changes.
to a city with a beach.
Yeah.
not playing.
I remember last time I went to the beach with my mom, and she was like, "Nah, don't go too far. Right here." Like,
It's like I'm going outside just to play soccer. Why are you like oversaying stuff,
Yeah,
bro?
overthinking it.
And it's like I have to run away or hide to go do something that I love to do.
Yeah,
But it's not supposed to be like that though.
shouldn't.
Because it's
Just
not what
like-
they love.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Sometimes I think they just mad that we get
But they
more
should
freedom.
be proud though. Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
They don't care about your passion.
No.
oh yeah,
Yeah. And that, we were literally just talking about
If that
this.
passion ain't bringing money right then, that immediate second. No.
But you know, they can just invest in us.
oh yeah. Like I remember when I wanted to play soccer, like as a kid, sometimes they'll be like, "Oh, you playing like with older kids? Like be careful because you might break your leg." Like, Like, don't do it because, you know, what if you break your leg and you never play soccer again? Like, what are you going to do?
Just feeding you negativity before you do it, just to keep you from doing it.
It's like,
Or what if you never, like, get
giving you doubt.
Right.
Yeah.
That code switching thing you were talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
What was your question?
I was saying we could go off that more because that kind of tied into a lot of the things we were talking about, just having to code switch. I think that ties into that question of like, how has your cultural background influenced your career choices and aspirations? Like being in different rooms, like going to school even, or like going to a job or being around certain friends. You know, sometimes you would have to like code switch, like, you know, down the accent a bit, you know, like don't make the accent a bit heavy, or talk a certain way, make sure you're pronouncing all your words clearly, like all these different things. Or same thing with the outfit and like the fashion choices. I'd look at that as code switching too, dressing a specific way or something like that. I think as time goes on, it definitely doesn't matter that much, but when you first start code switching, it's definitely a major adjustment.
Oh, for sure.
Have you guys find yourselves in any kind of situations where you were code switching?
I mean, for example, going to school, you can just get up and wear some African clothes because you're just thinking, oh, eyes gonna be on you. Oh,
I feel like that's writing bully me on something and just sticking it to your back if you do that.
They're gonna ask a bunch of questions,
bro. The jokes that are gonna come out of people's mouths,
stuff like that, just trying to be funny. But sometimes, you know, we're just trying to represent our country or ourselves. So sometimes you just gotta. That's where the fitting gets into action.
That's unfortunate though, because really code switching simply comes from us not being able to be comfortable to fully express our culture.
And that's probably why a lot of us did it when we were young, as opposed to now when we're, you know, more cemented.
And more open arms to it, and understanding that people come from different backgrounds.
But like this NFL player, I don't know, he's from Ghana, Owusu or something.
Owusu Nkrumah.
Bro, like that dude, man. Like every day.
What'd he do?
Like his game day fits, he be wearing like the traditional African, like Ghana wear.
That's
like,
lit.
I love it when they do that.
That's lit.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. What are some things you wish your African parents would do better? Who just cleared their throat?
I would say speak Twi more around the house so I don't lose it.
I second that.
I never had no problem with that.
me
Really?
Not necessarily that I lost it, but it's like I can understand it fluently, but let me speak it fluently. I mess up, but I can 100% still speak it. But that's
One of my friends actually has like he started his business and he's Ghanaian as well, but he started something called like Twi car. Is it Twi or Tree?
Tree.
It's Tree cars. Twi cars. And basically it's for like a second generation, third generation who have, you know, if we were trying to learn the language, and it's just like simple, you know, flashcards with, you know, most common terms, stuff like that. Because, you know, typically after the second, third generation, the language has made it out the family.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely speaking it around like kids growing up, they pick it up more like than when you grow up and hearing it and trying to learn. And
the older you get, the harder it is for sure. That's one thing I'm super like grateful for though, is that I learned it when I was young, because it's never gonna go away. What are some other things you guys wish your African parents would do better? Personally, I would say learning when to like take a break. Like self-care days, like mental health days.
Yeah, that would go a long way.
The constant working and like if you see it, it becomes a routine. Like they work, they come home, they do their errands, they do that. Like if you really look, they don't take time to just sit and relax and just relax. Like I don't know how else to express that. Just really relax and just take time to themselves. I feel like that's a toxic thing in African culture. Our parents do not know what you say something about mental health to an African parent. What are you talking about? Damn, okay. You know, like they don't know what you're talking about.
Pray for
so like go pray to God and wash the dishes. Like
Hey, moreover, another hit. He's saying African dads turning a simple, pure, curious question into a whole unskippable cutscene picture.
it's like you ask. It's a little question.
Yeah.
And it's like you asking for a story. It's not supposed to be like that, you know. Our parents, their generation education is different from ours. So what I would say is, if they can try, at least just try to understand our education, I mean our generation, that would be better.
Yeah.
Just understand us.
Put their feelings
That's
to
all.
the side. I look at it like that.
That's all. They just want our generation to like be educated the way they were educated, but it's no.
Oh, we got someone defending, saying time is money. So you want us to waste our time, which is money, for mental what? We did not come to America to joke.
See, that same mentality is why you in them comments sounding that aggravated. Okay? Take a mental health day. But you guys people act as if taking a mental health day means like you're not working or not doing anything. Like you can still be productive and still take a mental health day. People don't understand that mental health isn't just sitting down doing nothing or sleeping or doing whatever. A mental health day could be you cleaning your apartment, prepping your food, doing your laundry, and getting your stuff together. I look at that as mental health days, getting myself together to prepare myself, or time to just also relax. Like there's a huge misconception, but you can't be grinding all the time and then not take a break. Your oil will burn out.
Because
You'll burn out.
Because you deserve it. Like the other day when you texted me, you off. I just woke up that morning and said, wellness day. Let me go run some errands. But you know, typically, like I said, if I told that to my parents, where are you? I'm at home. Don't you have work today? No. You sick? No.
Now, why are you at home?
Exactly.
Sick of this job.
But no, for sure. We definitely need to see more of that because, I didn't do much besides, do errands, clean the house, chill, catch up on shows, get some lunch. But,
what time are you actually taking? Oops, sorry.
Yeah.
It's just good to just take that actual time to just yourself.
Yes, because you are human.
Right. We're not robots. We're not machines. We're humans. Anybody else have something to add to that before we move on?
I feel like they got to do a better job, like, letting their kids express themselves and opening themselves up to them. Like, especially, I feel like most parents don't know like what's really going on with their kids or something. So
let's be honest, a lot of parents don't know what's really going on with their kids.
Because we're not feeling that comfortable to open up to them, because every time it gotta go the way they want it to go.
I feel like and I had to learn, obviously just getting better each day. I've had to learn what this is about, but emotional intelligence, I've noticed that in terms of feelings, in terms of expressing yourself, having those just today, I wasn't feeling it. They're there for us as kids because we need that support, but as we grow into adults and like it's time to work, we could be working all the time, but we still feel we have to work. Like you said, we can't just tell them that this is hard.
You can't be vulnerable at all.
Vulnerability.
You can't just completely be vulnerable. You feel like you kind of have to have your guard up because you don't know what they're gonna say that may make you mad or something like that.
Every time you're trying to prove your point, it's just not working. Every time you're trying to say something, it's like you guys going back and forth. It's like, oh, so now you're trying to show me that you're a man, or no, or you're trying to show me that you know it better. Like it's not that I'm disrespecting you or anything. I'm just trying to let you understand how it's going or how you should, trying to
understand.
That's a loop because they will say, oh, you think you're too grown, and then they'll turn around and say, you should be doing something. Like, why you're too grown to be acting like this? Like, what do you mean? Like, do you want me to be a kid or do you want me to be like? And
then when you start knowing better or explaining yourself, oh, so now you think you know it all. You think you're better than me. It's like, okay, all right. So it is a loop sometimes.
Something I was gonna say, I would add on to that. Something I've had to work with my parents is like, letting them get their traditional, thoughts and opinions of doing it, but at the same time being humble enough, like, all right, well, number one, I don't believe it like this, but I recognize that you are trying to guide me in a direction that could only be for my benefit. So give me some advice that could actually help me. I'm not taking your advice, but just at least show me support. If I'm gonna do it this way, show me a way I could do it smoother instead of,
a lot of it, I think, like, they think like if they're giving us advice or something like that towards something, we have to take it and we have to go that way. They just sometimes don't understand the concept of just being there and being supportive. Like just being there, being supportive. You can give advice, but still being okay with if they don't take that advice and go their own route, still being able to support them while they do that. I feel like that's super hard for African parents to do. It's like my way or the highway.
Yeah.
And if you do your way, you're good luck because I'm not going to be there, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
It gets so defensive too when you like have like a disagreement. You be like, okay, don't ask me for nothing else.
And they mean that. They really mean that.
Yeah.
Or you
So-
feel, or they say like, oh, you feel like you grown now. Why don't you go like get your own places?
Yeah.
Bruh.
True.
Grown and live on your own.
Yeah, no, really.
I sure did that 100%. I would be the one to test my parents on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Let me see. Okay, are there aspects of American culture that you wish was part of African culture? So is there something that Americans do that y'all wish Africans did more?
What was the question again?
Is there something that Americans do that you wish Africans did more?
What can I say?
I don't
What
know.
do you think, Beatrice?
It's actually a really hard. You didn't know that all night.
I don't know. There's not really.
All right, let me say something real quick. Like I say, like family reunions. Like
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
we don't do that often unless like there's a
Wedding
there's a wedding, a funeral, like
Or-
some-
Yeah, that's
More
what we really do.
celebration.
or party, celebration.
That's what I would say.
Or when you do
Americans
something
celebrate
bad.
so much.
Is when you do something bad that there is a meeting.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
the
like
whole family there.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
should do that.
because they live on what they say. It takes a village to raise a child, and for them that's probably true. But for us, it's like they don't need to know all that.
They don't need to know all that at all. That's actually something I think we could talk about too.
Yeah,
Like,
discretion.
yeah, spreading our business to the whole family. Something could happen.
Right.
Your mom on the phone with your auntie in Africa already spilling the business. I'm like, oh my God.
I don't believe in like confiding in your parents or aunties or something like that.
Yeah, same.
I feel like, okay, I won't tell anybody in America. I'm spilling the beans across the country. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. So I think that's something a lot of African parents can do better at. Just stop telling your kids business. That's what I'm gonna say to that.
Yeah.
That was a good question, though.
Let me see.
Another thing, you said the question is, what's one thing you wish that Americans would
What's
do?
something about Americans that you wish Africans did more of? So as an African, what do you think Americans do that we could do more of?
Being supportive.
Being supportive?
Supportive. Yeah. What does that look like for you?
On the
Chase your
soccer
dreams.
side, man.
Oh yeah, you said you play soccer. They're trying to shut down your.
You just gotta support us.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Chase your
We're not asking for a lot.
Overall, just
Support
support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do that a lot over here.
They do.
That's why,
Yeah.
like
sister kids.
Have you ever had situations where like other people showed up more for you
Yup.
than like your parent or like your or like your immediate family that you were with, and it was just kind of like, dang.
It'd be like that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the disciplinary actions between.
Hey.
Uh
You know what I'm saying?
oh.
Would you rather get whipped by a belt? Or would you rather time out? Hey, shout out to
Okay, we're talking about Africans here. You bringing a belt is like the bottom tier layer of what they do.
I know.
Like,
Let's be nice.
But no, let's get into that.
yeah.
What are some things that you see amongst? I'm gonna flip the question a little. What are some things that you see people of our generation who are Americans doing that we're like, oh, thank God I got that whooping back then because I'm not trying to.
That's true.
Yo,
Yeah, it's like, woof, man.
when they like
What were their parents doing? What
full
were
on
they?
cuss out their parents, and like I understand maybe wanting to explain yourself or defend yourself in a situation,
Yeah.
but one thing I've never done is like think that you should like be cussing at your parents and like being rude. Like that's one thing I never did. I may have ran my mouth a lot, but it was always just I did this and I didn't mean to do that, but it was never F you, mom, and screw you, and I wish you were never born, and all this kind of stuff.
You wouldn't be able to get the words out. Before.
Yo, I experienced that real time one time, and I just stood there in disbelief, speechless. I could not believe it. Because in my eyes, I was expecting the parent to like go haywire, and nothing happened.
Wow.
I I went home with a lot of questions that day.
Yeah. What?
Nothing happened.
What is this power?
I went home shook, but definitely I think how African people discipline, what was the word?
Discipline.
Discipline their kids is just too extreme. Yeah. Too extreme.
Yeah.
Like if you look at schools here in Africa, like, you know,
back home they can beat you.
they'll beat you, they'll beat your ass. So, you know, kids are like more respectful. Like over here,
you know what I'm saying?
It's
but
it's different.
We don't want to bring up the ginger. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say like this is African thing. Like, wow, I don't see a lot in African communities, but I do not see that many teenage pregnancies. You know, in African, like,
that's one thing I'm grateful for too.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Yeah. Yeah.
That that doesn't even exist.
Remember that show? Is it 16 and Pregnant?
Yeah.
Pregnant? I'd never met a 16 and pregnant Nigerian African.
Yo, I haven't either.
That's what I'm saying.
That was definitely a culture shock.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like when you're in an African house and somebody comes to visit your parents, you just know you gotta get up.
Immediately you're a servant.
Right.
You're getting the water, you're getting the tray, you're getting the cup, you're saying hi.
Even if you're in your own room.
Even.
You gotta come down and say
I say hi, yo.
Come say hi to uncle.
Oh, let's say they're on the phone, right? The parents on the phone over here, and you're sitting down trying to put your mouth in there. Let me not say trying to be in the business, but put your mouth in there. They will slap you right away, like,
and not stop talking either, right. Like, and just keep going. Like,
I'm gonna take the step. I'm gonna take the question a generation further. So now that we've seen the things like, oh wow, I'm glad my parents taught me this because I don't want to end up like that. What are some things that you think when you guys are older, if you have kids, that you're gonna try to, you know, put in your children so that, you know, they kind of walk on a straight path?
Okay, I got a question after that too.
Right,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I would say it would be just definitely having that discipline and structure with your kids. Like, I fully believe that you have to structure your kids and discipline them. However, do I think you need to like be abusing them? No, and not at all. I think there's definitely ways to go about it. But in the future, something that I won't change that my parents did with me was just the discipline. However, I will not take it as extreme as my parents did. But like my kids, they will know like the respect between like being a child and having a parent, but they'll also know like I can go to my parent for support and all that kind of stuff. But before I go further, anybody else want to add what they're going to implement in their kids?
I
was going to say, I got one too, but you can go.
I was saying that like when parents discipline their kids in such a way, they are getting something and losing something, right? They're getting like more like structured kids, like, okay, the kids know not to do certain things and know how to act a certain way. And on the other side of that coin is they're getting resentment from their kids. And that's just going to stick along with the, you know, their behavioral improvements. So they just kind of have to deal with that or just have to talk it out. But we don't believe in talking stuff out.
I think that's something that I'm also going to implement with my kids. I have something to add because this question is really pouring out of me.
No, I got one to add, but I want you to keep going.
Well, the question that I had after, that's why I said you should go.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll make this one a point. But one thing that I'm super grateful that my parents instilled for me is, you know, I lean heavily on my faith, and I've had to as I get older. But you know, as a kid growing up, not a lot of my friends were, you know, believers or whatever. So it kind of fell off. But now I'm like, you know, adulting is hard. You know, we both know this. So I'm just like, I'm glad my parents put this in me, and I'm definitely gonna, you know, give my kids the roadmap in terms of that, you know, aspect for me to, you know, lean on, for them to lean on when I'm not there, to give them advice when they're 25 in the same. You feel me? So
I second that too with the
I'm
faith.
glad to.
Yeah,
I'm glad to, because there are some whooping that helped me a little bit. Because those whooping definitely helped me know how to control
100%.
myself.
Yes, no, 100%.
Sure.
Same with my grandma's prayers. I'm sure like all those nights that she'd be up, you know, playing at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., having those dreams about me, but you know, maybe not like telling me, maybe not telling me all the dreams, but maybe she did have a dream, but she's putting extra work on, you know.
But I feel like they shouldn't miss the education. Like, for example, let me say this: from 3 years old to 8 years old, that education, you gotta discipline your kid.
Mm-hmm.
From 9 years old to 12 years old, you gotta try and do your best to prepare your son or your daughter about the upcoming life. And then from 13 years old to 18 years old, that's when you build that friendship with your kid. So after that, the kid, already know I was disciplined. I know what's coming up.
Yeah.
And I'm close enough to my parents, to talk to them.
Yeah.
So that's all I can add to it.
Yeah.
So for the next question, what are some either behaviors or things that happened to you as a kid or just in the African culture that you will not be continuing moving forward or with your kids?
What was the question again?
Yeah.
Like,
what are some of the things that they did to you that you're like, when I have kids, I'm not going to do that anymore?
Embarrass my kids in front of everybody.
Yeah.
That one is not cool because your kid can have some mental breakdown of that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like the kid probably just want, okay, my mom just agree with me in public. And when we go inside, you teach me the right way.
That's how it should be.
That's instead of just embarrassing your kid in front of everybody right away. And you come home, you're not that even comfortable to even tell the truth. Because probably you're not the one in the wrong. But just because of the way they embarrass you, you don't even have the opportunity to talk to them.
Yeah, or defend yourself.
Yeah.
It's like
it's not cool.
I don't know if it's a saying, they say like praise in public, but discipline in private.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I also think like if they could not call you or make you feel stupid just by disagreeing with your opinion, that could go a long way.
Yeah.
Like, give me an example, Debo.
Like I will be talking to my mother, and I would say I would have my opinion on something we should do, and she was like, "No, that's stupid. Like, why are you being stupid?" And then it was like, "We should do it like this," even though there was logic behind my opinion. Like, I can see why she would want to do hers instead, but I didn't have to be called or treated like I'm stupid.
Yeah, because hearing that from the person who's supposed to put all the positive energy into you, you start believing it. You're like, oh wow,
exactly. And they're supposed to be feeling you with those good character traits, so it's not good when they do that.
And sometimes they can try to come into an agreement with us, instead of just thinking they're right.
Yeah.
And that's what I said, like I've been working on doing with my parents, because like now it's like, all right, I get it, but I'm not going to sit on the phone anymore and listen to you tell me what I should do for an hour.
Right.
This is what I'm doing. This is what you believe. How are we going to, it's for my benefit. It's my move. So give me some advice.
It's all about the communication, man.
Thank you. The C word, big word.
I think
communication.
Big communication.
I think
that's what I want to implement, like moving forward, or at least for my kids. It's just like we can talk it out, and I think that's what you were saying earlier. But that's something I definitely want to implement more, is that we can talk it out. Things don't have to be arguments. Things don't have to get loud. Things don't have to get violent.
Right.
Like I'm become such a peaceful person. I'm like, we can talk this out. Like nothing is too big or too major to where people can't sit and just have a calm conversation about it. You may not end it in agreement, but you can end it in either we can agree to disagree, or you can end it in a compromise. But like the getting heated and doing all the extra stuff, I'm like a big no to that. If we can't sit down and talk about it, we ain't talking at all. Goodbye. Yeah.
I feel like if they could take a step back and see how hypocritical they are, like punishing us for something they do, and we're just kids, so we're just like knowing that if my mom or dad is doing it, that means it's okay.
Yeah.
So what we do, and they don't like it, we either get like a quick bop in the back of the head, what are you doing, like, or embarrassing in front of everybody,
or get yelled at.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, I think something that I'll implement too is like explaining why I said no. I feel like that's a big thing, like, and not just to kids. I think even just in general as a person, like when you grow up with parents that just, I said no and that's it, you develop that yourself getting older. Like I don't want to have to explain myself. You kind of develop that. And so something I definitely am going to try not to do that my parents did was like explain things. Because sometimes people aren't asking you, why would you do that? Or what for? To make you feel dumb or to bring you down or to make you feel like it's not valid. People sometimes genuinely just want an understanding. And with African parents, they don't care to understand once they say no. So that's something I'll definitely change up. It's like, I said no because this. Providing understanding does a lot more and help situations, especially with kids. Like, yeah. Anything else as far as what you wouldn't do that you have been taught or seen in the past that you don't want moving forward or would implement into your life? No? Okay. Let's see. Okay. Can you share a moment where you felt an overwhelming sense of pride in your African heritage, and how do you express that pride in your daily life?
I feel a sense of pride every time I go to Auntie Divine and get to watch it.
Anytime I eat some fufu.
And they ask you, what are you eating? That smells good.
Yeah. Stay over there. You don't really want it. I'm really hungry like that.
That's a good question. Email, what about you?
I'm trying to think. I gotta thought. I have I say that, like, you know, I feel proud, like, of my being African, because like nowadays, like, our music is even like
it's a vibe.
Like, everybody's listening to our music and vibing out with it and stuff.
That was actually gonna be my example. I'm a musician, so definitely like having that like root in Africa, like, oh yeah, I know I got this in me, like this is where the rhythm came from, like there's no doubt. So I take that with me. But like I said earlier, the first time I heard, you know, like Wizkid play like at a white person's wedding, I'm just like, oh okay, I'm gonna get out here and, you know, do my thing, because gotta represent the green and white. But that's definitely a moment. Music for sure.
You go out to a club now, like all white club. They play like Burna Boy.
I'd be like, oh, what y'all know about this?
Bruh, being African is a blessing.
Yes, it is. No, really. Okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about like that question basically, but like not necessarily just a moment where you felt pride, but just overall being an African and like the benefits of it and how amazing it truly is.
I want to flip a question you had earlier about what Ghanaians could do better that Americans are doing. Let's flip it and say, what could Americans do that we like in Ghana or Africa or everywhere? And I'm saying we don't really eat processed foods like that.
Yes, our food, everything's real. Our food is real. Our food is real.
Thought about that ever.
Our food is real. No, I think about that all the time, because I go through phases where I can only eat African food like back to back to back to back, because I can't.
Homemade food.
That's true. Like you'll miss it. I promise you, when you eat processed foods for a long time, after a while you will miss your home foods.
Other than yam and
French
plantain,
fries.
what do we be frying for real?
Oh my goodness.
Like what do we eat? Chicken nuggets.
Hey, this is crazy, because I feel like you just woke up my brain, because I'm just like, wait,
he's having a whole awakening over there. He should.
You feel me? I've been eating processed foods since 2005. You feel me? Like, wait, no, since 1998. You feel me? Like, my mom doesn't cook that much, so if my grandma's not cooking or my dad's not cooking, then there's no, there's no fufu, meat, rice, anything. So I've just been eating Pop-Tarts. What is Gary? What is that?
What is Gary? Gary. But like, that's the thing about it though. Our food is something I'm proud of. Our music is something I'm proud of. Our language is something I'm proud of. Even how we act. Like people say we over dramatic or whatever. I think it's funny. Like I love us. So
yeah, no, for sure.
And I think like if we had African food everywhere,
it
would be so easy to be vegan. Like all these vegan and vegetarians, like it's like you're only locked into a certain box, unless you're not really like making like real stuff. Like you make authentic foods, but not eating impossible beef.
You're
eating meals.
No, literally that lasts you. You're not about to eat and be hungry in an hour. Like I eat me a good meal and I'm good to go for hours.
You can't go to an African party and expect a fight.
Right.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
Good vibes.
Yeah.
Positive
We
vibes.
don't no bad vibes. We don't even do
You don't
funerals.
even know somebody.
We do
Yeah,
parties, yeah.
exactly.
Facts
We don't
though.
even do
Facts.
funerals. We do
Yo,
celebration of
Facts.
lives.
No,
Like
facts.
It's good vibes, man.
Dang, no.
that's something I like about Africans. We're very upbeat people. Like, I mean, it shows in our music too, but that's
Pun
something,
intended.
yeah. And very prideful. I like that too. People say it's egotistical, but I'm like, why would you not be that prideful or that happy about your culture? Yeah.
Charlie, I don't care, man.
It's because we're closer to the sun. You feel me? So
Okay.
it's got
Let's not get into that.
we just got that, the
Melanin.
brightness to us. You feel me? So
I just
yeah,
feel like we're the self-embodiment of
Super
rhythm.
Negro.
yeah. I was gonna say they say black magic, but it's literally just
It
like,
is.
we get that shine, we get that energy.
We're the sun's
You feel
children.
me? Right. So we gotta be lit. Pun intended. Sorry. My bad, not to cut your wisdom, Debo.
No. I'm saying like with the music, we're like a self-embodiment of rhythm. Like
Mm-hmm.
you feel it, like
And we
wait till-
feel
wait-
it.
If it wasn't for us,
the way I see people move when they play Amapiano.
I know, right?
Yes. Don't get me started.
You seen those videos of like the white people do like the
Hey,
Bro, and he be over there like this.
some of them be going off, but
They be killing it sometimes, but
I'm like, yo,
not too much.
yeah, not too much. Never too much.
I do kind of skip a little and like the next
Oh,
person.
for
That's
Yeah.
for sure.
So yeah, that's a good one. Hey, shout out to Motherland.
But yeah, going back to the other question, like one thing I'll say I'm proud of being African is like the fact that I can speak 2 languages. Like,
yeah, being bilingual.
Yeah,
Some
bilingual.
even trilingual.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
trilingual.
Hey, what do you speak?
Ewe.
like only
that?
Tree and
Ghana.
Ewe, they're both languages from Ghana.
Yeah, like Ghana
Really?
speak like
You didn't know?
10 different.
Yeah,
For the North.
my dad. Well, mainly my mom, but yeah. And then like my auntie who lived in Togo. I used to go to Togo to visit my auntie all the time. So
I speak.
with time I learned
French and
Ewe.
English.
You speak Ewe?
Yeah, but I don't know if our Ewe is the same as yours.
It might not be, and it's been a long time for me. I'm like, yeah. I'm over here trying to learn other languages too. So
I understand 3: English, Yoruba, and Pidgin. Sometimes.
Pigeon.
Yeah.
Pidgin? You speak Pidgin?
I didn't say speak. I said understand.
Oh.
understand.
I could walk. I could. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Now I'm actually trying to like relearn Pidgin.
And I'm trying to add Spanish to it too.
I'm currently learning Spanish.
Yeah, ¿cómo estás?
Okay.
Muy bien, ¿y tú?
Muy bien.
You guys think it's easier now that you already, already got the background? Like, yeah, I already
An
got.
older? No.
No.
No. I mean, I'm glad that I had it when I was younger because it can be easier to get into, but it does not change the fact that the older you get, the harder it is.
Right.
So it's easier because we have the background. So for me, I'm just like filling in holes. Like I understand majority of everything, but I just forget a few things. But like to start over,
No.
not no, but like you have to be so dedicated.
Yeah, no, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
Lucky.
Any other questions, chat?
Yeah.
And also, I feel like
Anything?
people from here, they don't like the fact that, we speak different languages. Like, for example, if you, 2 Africans speak the same language that is not English, is a problem.
Yeah, somebody gets mad.
We're not talking about you.
Yeah, or two.
It's just, you feel,
They be like,
you feel more comfortable.
Threatened, yeah.
yeah, they be like,
No, they
what are
feel
you
threatened.
saying?
But that's that inferiority complex
Yeah,
that we mentioned
that's what-
earlier.
yeah,
It's
that's what
not
I'm
your
saying.
problem, is theirs. Like,
Right.
they
And
could
it
be
sucks
talking about
because
it.
like for the longest that behavior like kind of made us close up more of who we are and adapt when in reality is like, no, you shouldn't be in my business or care where I'm
just
from or
don't
what
want
I
them
do.
to be in
Like,
your business.
yeah,
Right.
like you shouldn't have to be in my business or none of that. So I think it's more developing that boundary of I don't care who you are, I don't care what you say.
And also, some of them been saying, if something happen right now, you got a country to go to or whatever. But at the end of the day,
I love turning that joke around and making you mad.
It is.
at the end
Like
of
I
the
do
day,
have a place to
it's
go.
true,
Where are
though.
you gonna go?
It's true. At the end
Yeah.
of the day, it's true. We have African roots, so
Yeah.
that's somewhere to go.
What about it?
So go back to Africa with pleasure.
With pleasure. No, yeah. Okay, so like what are like some things that people like what are some assumptions people will make about you or being African or being in America, even from both sides, assumptions from Africans and assumptions from Americans that you get, because we get best of both worlds. So there's always, we see both. So what's something that happens with that?
Got something to say, Beatrice?
I'm thinking.
Oh,
Thank you.
I mean, I feel like the no rider with that is smart. Yeah, they know right away that where you came from, they don't play, and you're respectful. That's one thing too.
Yeah.
You can get disrespectful sometimes, but we know how to control ourselves more than they do.
Yeah.
So
And we always hold them back.
they know that. Yeah,
For sure.
So like, do you experience it where Africans look at you like you're respectful and educated and knowledgeable, or Americans looking at you like that?
Americans recognizing that.
Yeah.
I'm respectful and stuff.
And then
Yeah.
Africans don't, or
Africans, I mean, they know that you're supposed to be like that. I
Yeah.
would say, because they like that too. But them that are here, they don't really experience that. So it makes them really wonder why you like that.
yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else? About like assumptions? Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna move on to the next question. It was just a personal question for y'all though.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I mentioned earlier that my fiance is from a family with country roots. My question for y'all is, what's it like with the relationships? Are you guys leaning more towards, the homeland, or like, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are there cultural lines that you're not trying to cross because, I don't want her white grandma to make me jollof. I'd rather, go to a family like, that, you feel me? So
Like personally, like I have talked to like different kinds of people from different cultures, and so I kind of do find myself leaning towards more of like finding a guy from a homeland, or like finding somebody that's African. Or I think my main thing that really stuck out to me was finding somebody that's cultured. Because I hold my culture like strong to my heart. Like people look at me and they don't think I'm from Ghana, or they don't think I speak different languages, or until they come around me. Then I'm at home dancing, I'm cooking the meals, I'm doing all the different things, I'm celebrating the tradition. So something I realized is that I hold my culture true to my heart because it is who I am, and it's always something to go back to.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, the older I am, the more I hold it close. So I think when I got older, I realized like I need somebody that also either has the same thing or has a culture of some sort. It just,
That culture is gonna
it builds
direct
you. Yeah, it builds you. I feel like it builds the person, it builds the character, it holds you to a different level. And I feel like people who have culture also have like similar morals about how they go about life, and like how they want to maneuver in life, and how they want their partner or their relationship to be. I feel like cultures have kind of the same understanding. So that's where I am on that one.
Yeah.
I actually enjoy being the minority. It makes me feel like special. I pivot away from conformity. So
Yeah.
Being a black sheep, I like just
No, yeah, I agree with that too. Same. I'm definitely the black sheep in my family too. That's why I said culture, because I didn't sit here and say he has to be a Ghana man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because like
Culture, yeah, that's good.
I just found out more about my roots and that I'm not just from Ghana. So now I'm like super open to things, but it also heavily weighs on them having culture, and then also just how that culture has raised them as a person. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Stephen, what about you? Since you just got here.
Man, what I would say is I got over here 4 years ago, right? And the only difference that I see is this country is faster than our country. So to try to adapt to this system, first you gotta learn a whole different language. Because my first language was French, or is French. You feel me? That's one step, trying to learn English. And then after that, you gotta try to understand how the system goes over here.
Social dynamics and stuff, you think?
Yeah.
That's tough. But you know where you came from.
Yeah.
And you're not here to joke or play around. So of course it's gonna motivate you. And it's gonna make you not be lazy. Yeah. That's what I'll say.
What was the question about? It was about a relationship?
Yeah, we got it. But yeah, I want to hear your answer too.
Like about like relationship, like dating outside your culture.
Yeah. Basically, that was basically
Like your preferences.
For me, I don't have a preference. Like I don't feel like the pressure to date someone specifically from my culture or from where I'm from. So it's like, kind of like branched it family tree. Like I'm open minded, so I'm like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't like hold myself to just one specific culture.
You just gotta make them understand you.
But
Yeah.
you know, obviously our parents sometimes they want us to date our culture,
Right.
from our home.
I would say this because me personally, I've only just recently began to date like people from like West Africa, stuff like that. I don't know, because like coming to America, it's like I was just around like Black Americans or whatever.
Yeah, we're a minority, like, so it's like
Yeah.
options are very limited. So,
Yeah, and over time my taste just got even more refined. You know? And I was like, I started dating this Black American woman, and then it was all cool, you know, like melanin, whatever. And then I realized that's just external, right? Because like they asked me this question like, do we have washers and dryers back home?
Oh my God.
Bro, what?
And then
When they start asking those questions, that's when you know it's over. Like,
then it was like different. Like then I was like, okay. And then like when I started dating this African girl, like, hey, he was making like palm oil like stew and everything. I'm like, oh man, I don't have to explain nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything's just with the culture. So I just feel like that's when I just started pivoting to like, you know, something that I'm used to. Or something.
Yeah. It's like an understanding. There's like this mutual understanding that sometimes doesn't need to be spoken all the time. Like I felt
so
like
many
dating outside of my culture, dating people that didn't understand that, you have to over explain yourself, or you have to deal with like questions like that. Like, you have a washer and dryer back home.
Ask questions.
Yeah,
You know, like, did you have goats and all this stuff? And the worst part was I did. So worst part was I did. So I was like, as a matter of fact, yes, actually, but okay.
Not only go.
I feel like the best part
Right.
is like when you have like, let's say, similar childhood memories, like, you know, y'all did the same kind of stuff, like grew up like with the same type of similar stories, because you know, someone who grew up here has different experience, like about, you know, a kid growing up in Ghana and telling stories about like family,
Yeah.
certain things they do at home and stuff.
There's certain jokes they wouldn't get. And
Yeah.
stuff.
Certain songs,
Certain songs.
blues, and
Sayings.
A lot of people here in like Ohio are relatively sensitive to how we are. You know, it's like, you know, why you have to say it like that? I'm like, yo, it's just how we talk, you know.
We are in Ohio, though. We are in Ohio, so.
And
We are in Ohio.
Yeah, when I got to Ohio, it hit different because like I used to live in New York, and people in New York are generally
That's
abrasive.
different.
Yeah.
Right. So it's easier to be African and talk how you talk over there. Then you move
Yeah.
here to the Midwest. They're like,
yeah.
what do you mean by that? Like,
Yeah. I don't know why so many Africans are in the Midwest though. Like there's so many Africans in Ohio.
to take over.
I don't know. But when I used to go out everywhere we went, my dad knew somebody.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of want to go back. So I guess kind of like the Midwest is more chill, like laid back compared to like the
Like
East
family
Coast.
style.
Yeah, family style. Like, you know, you
Yeah.
can start a family or like raise a family like
Yeah.
without other stress and stuff.
Yeah.
Living in the big city, everything moves fast. You just want to relax.
I think like Africans, at least someone that told me this, they don't like the overpopulated areas that New York has.
Yeah.
Just with the trees.
I wouldn't
quiet.
either. Yeah.
I'm a suburban kid. You know.
Okay. Does anybody have anything else they want to add to this
I'm good.
before we end it?
There are some people that are from here that don't mind being with Africans.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is they will do their best to fit in.
Are you talking about like Africans that grew up here? Are you talking about Africans that grew up here, or like
I'm talking about the Americans themselves.
okay.
Yeah, they will try to fit into your family, trying to understand where you came from, like understand you,
Yeah.
understand you, like trying to get close to you. Those won't be really determined though, and you won't get some type of question that you don't want to hear.
Yeah.
So I feel
They
like
heavily
those ones, they are, not bad.
Yeah.
I would say that.
Yeah. No.
I would say that sometimes we feel like people, like say like a white family or African American family, they date us and it kind of gives them a boost or ego, like like we're like a trophy.
Yeah.
Like oh yeah, my daughter is dating this African guy.
It's like saying
a prince.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say kind of the same, but Bree's not like that or anything. But I've been with my fiance for like a long time, so over time it's gotten to the point where she's been around my family. She's like, she knows
comfortable.
Kilo day. Like she would say these things herself, like phrases and stuff. And now it's just like, oh yeah, all right, you're open to learning. Say less. So yeah, it's dope.
That's all you ever needed, bro.
Man, that's what I'm saying. So
You got your good one.
Yeah. It's like it really, I was about to say, you gotta pick your lucky one. Find your lucky one and keep it because.
Yeah. I didn't find her. She was delivered. Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Period.
ma'am.
Amen.
So.
Anything else to add, you guys? Any live questions? No.
Any live questions?
Yeah, we need live questions. Shout out Marv. He said, "How was your first racist / Karen experience?"
Have you ever experienced that?
I just kind of experienced.
He said, "I don't."
You did?
Like Karen, like she was driving, but she was like more concerned about like who's following her than what's ahead of her. Like I live in a predominantly like white neighborhood, like so it's like you driving and they be like suspicious, like why is this guy following?
It's like, yeah, facts.
And then I seen her stop in the middle of the road and like turn her head, like bro, like just keep driving.
She was looking hard.
I'm going home. Like
Is she in the car doing that?
Right.
That was one time I had to really sit down and talk to a manager of mine. Like I had to sit down because like she kind of had some nerve. Like I was doing business with this company, right? And me and the company, like they kind of had an issue with me or something like that. And so they sent an email and they said something, blah, blah, blah. It was just like I called this person because I didn't realize the time zone or something like that. So I called them. And so they CC'd like my manager and everything. And she was like, replied. She was like, yeah, I understand. And I've been there for a while, but she was saying that. You remember that? She said, I said, like, Daniel, he's really like, he's not from here. He's from West Africa. So I understand there's a language barrier here. Yeah, I was
Who told you that?
Right. I'm like, we talk just fine. What you talking about? So she said that, she's like, we're doing our best to be going to train Danny or whatever. And I was something like that.
Oh, no.
And I read that
Why
email.
she
And I was
acting
like, I bet. And I was talking to the other guys, CC in the email. I talked to them. I was like, she said that. I'm like, yeah, she said that. So I'm like, yo, miss, can we talk for like 30 minutes? Something like that. Listen, no more. And then we went over, I talked to her and I was like, so what's up with that? You know? And she said that, she said, I'm like, do you know how you came across? She said, no, I'm not racist in any way.
I have one black
Who said anything about
No,
being
I
racist?
asked her, I was like, you know that could come across as racist, right?
She said,
and she said, no, I'm not racist in any way. She said, in fact,
I have one black friend.
In fact,
I have
there
one
we
black
go.
friend.
Feel me? I wish I came from Africa.
Nah. I would have just got up and walked out. Like, I'm not doing this today.
I said, and I was trying to be cool. I'm like, there's like, antagonistic racism, and then there's ignorant racism.
These conversations.
And I think you fall in the latter. And she said, yeah, I see where you're coming from. And she was like, yeah, no. Like, I have nothing against your culture. I'm like, yeah, in fact, like when I travel, I always get like exotic foods. And I'm like, bruh,
Let's make it clear that like people need to stop trying to justify that like with those kind of options. Like, I'm not racist, I have a black friend. I'm not racist, I eat African. Like, that don't mean nothing. That does not mean anything.
Yeah. And I think like, and the funny thing is the people she was emailing they were ethnic. You feel me? So I feel like in her trying to save the situation, I feel like she made it seem a little bit worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like when I talked to them on the phone, and we were talking fine, like we were just chatting, like they understand me perfectly. In fact, end of the story, everything was fine with everything I handled. I talked to them, they were cool. You know what I'm saying? But that interjection just made everything just awkward.
Yeah.
You know what they say?
Yeah.
They say when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Goofy.
Yeah.
Any more racist encounters? It's always like subliminal stuff though. Like for me, they're never directly in my face about it because I'm not gonna lie, I've been waiting on a Karen, but I guess they know not to try me. Yeah, but with mine, people are always just like subliminal about it, or like they'll talk about it behind your back or something like that, like colored or like say those specific words to like antagonize you, and I'll just be like,
no, I got something else for that. Like one time I was over here and like it's a previous job before, and I was like working at a bank at the time, and so I was counting the money and stuff like that, and I gave it was like another thing, and some other lady was asking him, everything got taken care of? Are you good? He said, oh yeah, the colored boy was just helping me earlier.
Oh no.
oh,
And then but he said, but I'm good now. He walked out, and I was like,
I'm so awkward. If I heard that, I would either be completely silent or I would just start hysterically laughing. Because why would you say that?
Yeah.
And not laughing because it's funny, just because I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
yeah, what's on my team?
I was gonna say,
Like just boldly says like, and then they'll boldly say these things or do it and then act so oblivious. I just be like, what world are we living in?
I feel like I'm guessing the guy was like old or something. Somebody old guy.
Yeah, it was an old white dude.
Yeah. So it's like at that
They
point,
be ignorant.
Yeah, I was gonna say you gotta just write these. You just gotta write some of the things off of just like you sound stupid as hell. Like, do you have a washer or dryer? Do you have electricity? Like, all right, I'm not gonna sit here and explain to you that. You know,
talking clicks.
Yeah.
Yo,
exactly. Like,
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So, do you guys?
Sorry.
No. I was gonna say, do you guys kind of find yourself expecting that when you walk into certain, situations?
I'm not gonna lie, with my experiences with mainly like white people in those kind of situations, not necessarily that every time I go into a room or a place, I assume that all white people are racist and that they'll be mean to me. But like I'm geared up for it. If that makes sense. Like I'm ready just in case, but like I'm not treating anybody rude, or I'm not being rude to anybody or singling anybody out. I'm very respectful. However, it's like my radar is kind of like ding, 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 ding. You know, because you just never know.
Just like how I was at work and these Black American came up to me. It's like, do you guys feel offended when we use the N word to call y'all? Like how we feel offended, like ignorant or the other way. Oh, using the N word. I'm like, why are you asking me that question?
Wait.
No, sometimes really though, it's like, why are you asking me that?
It's a Black American.
Yeah,
asking
if we're okay to be called the N word.
Right.
Yeah.
My response to that would have been the
you
funny.
don't even have to ask me that question.
I would have called them that and then walked away.
Nah.
We're not even that close.
I understand it though, because like a lot of the older generation, like they don't play about that kind of stuff. Like, they don't.
What, in terms of Black Americans, you mean?
No, I'm talking about like our African parents. Like if they call your dad the N word, like
it's slow.
Yeah, it's slow. He's not gonna take it. Like,
Yeah.
Not even the white. I'm not saying the white person, but like African American just saying that to like
That's part of the whole. Oh, you're being ghetto.
Yeah.
The misconception thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then later on, he saw my face. He's like, oh, is it because of the question that I asked you? I'm like, listen. We're not that close. Just not that close.
Like, just leave me alone.
We're not that close. I don't want to answer your question, and I don't want that question.
Yeah, it's not.
That's a problem here. It's like,
what do you mean?
Not being able to leave people alone, or like feeling like people have to explain themselves to you. People like just can't let you be. That's something I've really noticed. Like as an introvert, people will not just let you be.
You think as like give me an example?
Like it's part of what he was saying. Like they'll come up to you with those kind of assumptions and just ask you random questions. Or then after you like made that boundary of I don't want to answer that, they still then keep coming to like make you explain yourself, or like why do you do this or why do you do that? And sometimes you'll just be like, bro, I don't even know you like that. Why is it that deep? And majority of the time you don't. You don't. So that's something that I think, or at least I personally deal with here. It's just like. And don't even let them know that you're African, and then don't look it or don't exhibit it in some way. Then it's, can you say this? Can you say that? Can you speak this? Can you?
That goes into the code switching.
Yeah.
So it's like a defense. It's a defense mechanism, but like I said earlier, it's like something back then. As I was learning to do that, I was like, taking hits like, oh man, like I'm embarrassed. But now it's just like, oh, if I don't do that, like I'm gonna be stuck here with you, explaining like, and I don't have time for that today. Yeah. Some days I got time. Today I ain't got time.
The older I get, the more I'm like, I don't even want to code switch no more. I'm about tired of this. You gonna get what you gonna get and call it a day. Good night. Yeah.
I feel like in certain ways, like you are more freer back in your own place, in your own way. Like America is land of the free, you know what I'm saying? And they have like a bird to symbolize everything. But what do we see? We see a lot of birds in cages. You feel me?
Right.
So,
No, really. So, yeah, for real.
it's like a pseudo sense of freedom. Like, but a lot of times
Illusion.
you're in debt, you know what I'm saying? You don't qualify for or passport qualified to drive, and then you're just stuck, you know what I'm saying? Paying taxes, which
living
is,
paycheck to paycheck, worrying about your next meal.
Like
I was gonna say, I got a question for you, another one. In terms of, you said America's very fast, so what do you guys think about the fast culture of America in terms of, you know, like you said, everybody's trying to be flashy and stuff, but you know, they don't even have a car, you know, it's somebody else's car. So what do you guys think about that? I would say mainly in terms of like around money, but we'll just say appearances.
Yeah. Well, going off that, like the whole, like they may dress a certain way but not have a car. Like I've gone through phases where I haven't had a car, but I still was doing good. So I think a lot of it is just not making assumptions off people based off how they dress and things like that. Because like you just never know somebody's situation. They may not need it, or they may not necessarily have or require it in their life. Hold on, I'm sorry. The question's leaving.
Let me erase all that and just say like around money.
Oh, the fast-pacedness. Okay, sorry, it just came back to me.
Appearances.
Appearances. I definitely do feel like people try to keep up appearances and stuff like that, or try to keep up too much with America's fast-paced culture. And I personally do believe that it's very fast-paced.
Very.
I feel like it's only beneficial in a way where we're improving the world and like improving the environments and improving the way we live as people. But like you were saying, like the stuff with like the fashion and stuff like that, I think people have just directed their focus to the wrong thing. Like America being fast-paced, I think turned bad because people are being fast-paced in clothes and money and you know, like electronics or homes or like just things that aren't lasting, instead of putting that fast-paced focus towards I don't know, improving what's going on in the world, ending homelessness, you know, like things that have already been reoccurring. But,
no, facts though. And that goes back to like, I don't know, maybe it was you who said that, Iman, talking about like cultures and stuff. We find similarities in different cultures, even if we're not from the same country, even if we're not from the same continent. It's the fact that over there, our parents had a different value system. Like, don't pay attention to all this materialism. Don't pay attention to what it looks like on TV. Pay attention. And I think that's why we're looking at it like, wow, there's a lot of birds in cages over here because, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like an image to uphold.
Yeah. No, for sure. Steven, what do you think?
I mean, I came when like Corona just hit this country.
Dang.
So, you're saying like that, but like, you know, for example, me coming at that time and I have to go to school, and then I heard that, oh, I can just get in school because everybody's online. I mean, I'm like, online? What do you mean by online? Like, how? And then they started explaining it like everybody's on their computer. I'm like, oh, wow. So basically, that's what like got in my mind at that time. Like, well, this country is really fast.
Yeah.
You feel me?
It's like you had to like learn America like, on a screen for like.
And I'm like, that's cool though.
Yeah.
That's cool, you know. That's really cool.
I remember a story, Iman, you were telling me about when you first got here, like how you learned American culture was like, you know, South Park and watching that. You got caught up on all, you know, the jokes,
jokes kids make in school, like
talk
about all that.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, South Park is crazy though, but but hey, accurate though.
It is
in a
accurate.
way. Yeah,
like it's real life. So it's no filters.
It's just dark humor.
Dark humor. But
and you'll notice that over here they talk more about emails and stuff.
You say what? You say emails?
Emails,
bro.
But you know,
like they talk, like they have
communication.
Oh, it's gonna get worse.
With what's up? You know, we're good. You feel me? So
Facts.
I had a question. I lost it.
Was that the last question on the list?
I mean, there was a few more. Do you guys want me to go over them?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were concluding something like that.
I thought we were done.
Yeah.
Let me see. Because we talked about, what's one piece of advice or a message about the unique experience of growing up African in America? We went through a lot of them. That's why I kind of left them.
Okay, I see that.
I'm not gonna ask Beatrice this time. Somebody else has to ask her.
I was gonna ask her.
Yeah. She's on spectator mode.
Y'all saying everything.
No, we're covering a lot of areas.
Yeah.
You said, what's one piece of advice? Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah. What's one piece of advice or a message about the experience of growing up African in America that you'd like to share?
You said it's
So
advantage.
basically, yeah, or like just here. Let's
Perspective.
like what
Perspective
advice?
advice.
Yeah.
What's your general take? What's your thesis? What's your
For other,
being like African growing up in America.
yeah, for other African Americans, yeah,
Mm.
experiencing both cultures.
Oh yeah, like you definitely have culture. Like
Yeah,
that's one experience. Like you have something that's not like common to people here.
Mhm.
But since you're from another place and you live here now, you kind of have a both
Yeah.
instead of them having like one. So like,
I was gonna say
I don't know, like advice. Like what kind of advice?
No. I got it. I'm gonna piggyback off of
Yeah.
that and like analogy that I always use. Like I said, my first time back to Nigeria was 2016, and then I returned in 2022. So both times, I was like relatively an adult, but this last time was really eye opening. And when I came back, it felt like I use this analogy as like a puzzle piece. Like a lot of people over here are like trying to piece together their, where they come from because they don't have it.
Okay.
But as I've grown up here, my 2 times going back were like 2 big puzzle pieces of like, damn, I didn't know I had this much family, or like, oh damn, now I see where my parents came from, and like, wow, it's crazy that they went from here to here. So it's like pieces of a puzzle that
Okay. So
that build up
like,
the whole picture.
an advice is like, obviously growing up in Ghana, like, once you get to like, let's say, you don't have like a lot of opportunities like to be like financially stable at it, even at a young age or something.
Mm-hmm.
So you have it here, like you have the opportunity to get a job, like get a job, work hard, get money. Like they don't have that like over there in abundance.
Over there.
So
Yeah. I think we kind of asked the question earlier, like what's an African thing that you would transfer over to your kids? So like my question is like, in that regard, if somebody was coming over, what advice would you give them? Like, do it this way instead of, maybe a different way. I don't know. It's kind of hard. Did I mess up the question?
no, I think I got it.
Okay. Yeah. If you could, if you could reframe it in a way that's more understandable, please.
What's the
because
question?
I'm like, kind of lost in that one.
Yeah, my
not
bad.
gonna lie.
Yeah. You were saying what about can you repeat what you just said?
Like the hard work, not having the opportunities back home. So like you come over here, you're supposed to work hard to achieve those like your dreams, like the goal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Focus.
Yeah.
Focus. Mm-hmm. Is that focus you learned from your parents or focus you got now, Stephen?
Focus on what you got now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And plus I feel like as you live here and like you see the fast pacedness like of the culture and how life moves over here and everything, like you also got to adjust to it. You can't just sit back and be laid back and relax. And
Yeah.
I think one of the best things about coming from Africa is that you already know that the world is much bigger, like a lot of people probably never even left the country yet.
Like there's way more to offer.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
a lot of people back home look,
America's good at being very close-minded.
yeah. Plus a lot of people back home, like they look at America as like heaven.
Yeah.
Right. And we over here suffering.
Like you got everything already.
Yeah. As soon as you come to America, you're rich.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In the mind.
They expect
Right.
they expect something when
You're
Or they
supposed to
expect
be
you
the
rich.
president.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Right. Not the president. The president.
Nah, man, Charlie. We're working hard.
They said, ask me what I'm doing, my best,
I mean, there is money. Like money is over here. We're not gonna lie about that.
Yeah.
But it's just not.
You either making the money or you
right.
spending it.
Right. I'm not going somewhere to get it for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think that's a misconception Africans need to get rid of.
What?
It's the fact that if you're in America, you live in large.
Yeah, I mean like
Some of us here broker than them. Like
back home, like how many times you get like people give out gifts to like you say you hand out somebody money like because they need it. Like you don't see that like often over here. Like,
It's like
Like if someone
Once in a
gives you
lifetime
money,
thing.
they expect you to pay them back. Like
Yeah, just like altruistic, reverse
Right.
altruistic.
Yeah.
like over there, I feel like sometimes people like, I mean,
I think people are more generous.
yeah, more generous, but also like when you lived here and like you worked hard and obviously you got something that they don't, so they obviously like they're expecting you to
Yeah.
expecting like a handout like sometimes
Yeah.
a lot of times.
Yeah, there's like
That's a big one.
it's very
So,
normal
yeah,
for
huge
them.
one.
You don't get handouts out here like that.
Yeah, America does not do that.
Yeah, it's very normal for people to just extend their hand back home, and like you hear people don't do that. So when you go back home and people extending their hand out, you're looking at them like,
They start calling you
Yeah.
stingy.
yeah.
It's about the currency too, like a dollar over here.
He was just talking about that.
The
Yeah.
dollar over here is,
Yeah,
something
Yeah.
bigger
Yeah.
back there. So
facts. Debo
they'll be
just,
doing the math.
I was gonna say, Debo.
Oh, they for
Yeah,
sure got
yeah.
the math down.
yeah,
They got the math down.
Tell
for
them
sure.
about how you were living in Ghana with $200, bro.
Bruh.
How long it
could
last
you?
you?
Like a month or even longer
was
if you
out
do
there
good
for like
with
a-
it.
I mean, let's just say I came back with CDs in the pocket. You know what I'm saying? Like
He says
I was
he-
there for 2 weeks, and I was splurging. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, so it was nice. I feel like the ratio or whatever the expenses in Ghana
Yeah.
is lower than the income you get over here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you like, it's a big gap. So you go to Ghana and 200 would feel like 1,000 for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Would you guys go back? Do any of you guys plan to go back and live there?
Yeah.
You are?
Like I definitely plan to go back.
Maybe
and
not, like,
visit and
plan,
stuff
but,
like
like,
that.
live-
Oh no, planning for sure. Like my
Okay.
mom wants to go soon.
Okay.
But you meant like living there?
Yeah, like would you like prefer maybe at some point of your life to go back there to get away from
Yeah.
any negative aspect?
Yeah.
Smiling, to get away
Yeah.
from any negative aspect of America.
Yeah. Like earlier when I brought up how sometimes I'll like have to cook a whole bunch of just home foods just to like feel to myself. Sometimes I just have that urge to just want to go back home. Like just go back home.
Yeah, reset.
I feel like
Yeah.
real estate is a very important thing back home.
Yeah.
Not only does it give you like a safe base to come back to when you want to visit,
Yeah.
but it's like you could just make money while you're out here.
And plus,
Yeah.
let's say like if you start that at home, also like you giving other people at home who don't have jobs like opportunity to work, taking care of like
Yeah.
But they
property
lazy.
and stuff.
I ain't gonna lie.
I mean, not
Oh,
about,
Let's start talking about
Is that an assumption?
it's not
it's
that.
not necessarily an assumption, but we're talking about Africans who usually
No, it's
expect
not
like
that. Like,
Handout.
I
Yep.
feel like
a handout. Yeah. So sometimes they get lazy in it. And I'm
And
also
they're waiting on
speaking from
you.
my own personal experience of just my own family situations. and
They're
stuff.
just waiting for you to,
Yeah, like waiting for you to make it big and then buy tickets so you get on a plane and then you're good. It's like, no.
I feel like
gotta uphold your own.
accountability is also a big thing with like a
Yeah.
lot of people back home. Like,
Holding them accountable to
yeah, I mean, you gotta before, like, let's say if you want to start like building a house or something back home, like you gotta know someone who you trust. Like,
Yeah.
Bro, my mom is going through that right now.
Yo.
And she's had so many
and
issues
a lot
to
of
where she
people
had
don't hold
to
it
find her
accountable.
people.
Like
yeah.
you have a plan to do something that's gonna benefit them.
like
but,
like making half a house.
yeah.
Yeah.
Order your money.
This is right. They just be taking the money.
yeah,
Your money, man.
No. Yeah. That's a good one though. Accountability for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like where did all that money go? Like,
Yeah.
And they'll start scratching their head. Like, you know exactly where that money went.
I think I'd asked the question earlier about money, but like, since I mean, by the way you say it, like you're making it seem like, they're blowing money. But my question is like, did they have the educational, financial literacy back then? Yeah.
that's one.
They don't either.
Yeah. So how you hold accountability?
And I feel like over here still like not a lot of African parents go over financial accountability and responsibility
Yeah.
with kids. Like, I mean, yeah, you get a job, you're expected to like work and save your money, like, but then what do you plan to do with your money? Like any investment? Like, it's not like, and I know some African parents that like you tell them about investment and stuff, they don't believe in it because that's not what they grew up with. Like that's
Right.
You got to be working 24 hours.
You work hard and get your money, and that's it.
A lot of it is just like they're not educated on certain things.
Bro, I work with somebody that told me saving is not his thing.
Saving
get
is
his
not
money.
his thing.
He's spending it all because he don't, maybe tomorrow he'll wake up and be here. So why save? I'm like, bro,
Whoa.
you cannot say that.
That's the
That's
American
too literal.
mindset. Like,
Yeah,
hey,
that's
why?
too literal.
Don't say that.
Tell myself if I wake up, I won't be here tomorrow, bro. You
Like, that's
thinking
not-
too hard. Like,
but that's
you
one-
just being reckless, coming up with excuses.
No,
yeah,
facts.
that's one thing about like over here though. Like, you know, the whole concept about credit and stuff. Like, you gotta spend to make more money.
Yeah.
They don't
And
have,
it sucks because it's a system that they've tricked us
Yeah, we don't
into.
have credit cards back home. Like,
You either own it or you don't.
you just
yeah.
have a savings account. Like,
is that, you think that's more beneficial back then? Because I mean, credit over here allows
Yes.
you to do a lot of stuff.
I think
but
it's way more beneficial. I think credit
Over there?
is, no.
here.
Yeah, way more beneficial back home that they don't have
Yeah, but
credit.
Okay.
you still could get like a good credit and still not like have a
Exactly. You said you
chance
worked at a bank, right?
mhm.
Did.
Yeah, like you'll have people come in that'll have
not
like
common back
good credit scores and all this money, and they'll think they're gonna get all these things, and then they don't. And it's
Yeah,
like
because
it's all about how you manage it or like
Yeah.
your history with it.
Yeah.
So.
yeah, credit's just a way like to tell the government that you're reliable.
Yeah. Whereas in Ghana, it's a matter of either you worked your butt off for it and you're going to pay for it and own it for the rest of your life, or you simply just don't have it. And that's a trait in back home that I like and I will instill in my kids. Like either you can work hard for it or you simply just don't have it or you don't get it. Don't expect things to be handed to you or don't expect life to give you things. Not necessarily that I'm not going to cherish them and bless them with things, but their mentality will be that, you know, I have to work for the things that I want.
Yep.
So I think that's part of it.
I think a lot of stuff when it comes to money, finances, they're all like mini games in just one big game when you
Yeah.
live in America.
Explain.
Like,
Yeah.
It's a good analogy though.
That's
I like
good.
that.
It's like with the credit scores and everything, that's a game in itself. Like you gotta play it right. If you lose, you can't rent or whatever. And then you got to do your it's like working in like let's say a corporate building. You know, you gotta act a certain
Dynamics,
way. You gotta-
that's another mini
especially
game.
Being African, like then the game is tuned to like brutal difficulty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And just different things. Just
Oh, that's a good. With that, keep going with that mini game analogy. Let's see how many you could get.
I mean,
You said corporate. You said money.
we got
Corporate
money.
is worse.
We'll say code switching because that was a good one. You got to learn how to play the code
Yeah,
switching
code
game.
switching.
Yeah. Just being a business owner too is like you got to deal with you being African American. You're dealing with CEOs and different stuff over here, so you got to play the game a certain way because they already look at you like.
Yeah. They're already singling you out, basically. They already casted you out. You basically have to find your way in and stay
And
there.
driving,
like-
oh man, driving. Sometimes I gotta like when I see a cop car,
Oh, yeah.
I just feel like I have to drive behind the car. I'm like, you're not gonna be on the side of me or in front.
In front of me, yeah.
You know,
I don't know if that's just a natural habit too, but oh
it's just
well.
PTSD.
For real. Okay, so is that all for everyone? Gonna wrap this up? We're all good? Yeah. You good?
I'm not gonna say it.
Any questions in the comments?
Yeah. Questions, comments, concerns.
No questions. Let's go.
No more live questions.
Y'all scared? No.
Beatrice, anything?
Nothing at all. Y'all spilled it all.
Okay, well, I want to thank everybody for coming. It was a great pleasure to have everyone here. Before we close, you can either state whatever your closing statement is and then your IG. And then, so make sure you guys follow Wyattsdot Productions on all social media platforms. Again, you'll find them on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. If you want to be on the podcast, you can DM them on Instagram. However, it was a pleasure. My name is Millie Bonnie, and you can find all of my socials on Instagram, IG, and TikTok at Millie Bonnie. Moving forward over here.
This is Danny again, or Debo. Instagram, Debo Time. That's DBOA Time.
Oh, that's me. I'd say one closing statement. I just want to say shout out WizKid and Rema for, putting Nigeria on the map in terms of music and opening the doors culturally for our generation. So yeah, it's lit.
Yep.
Steven over here. IG Steven_star7. Advice Africans. You blessed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel me? Be happy.
Yeah.
Africans up. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And I'm Emmanuel, and you can find my socials on the comment, and yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you guys for being here. Bye.
Yep.
Brother, my mind is fortified. In my room all alone, I like to stay in my zone. And that's how I build my bones. Shall let that be my own? Life written like a poem. My wish shall be moving on. No physical, my heart is home. My heart is so. Express your thoughts. I go express my own. Make you express your own. I go express my thoughts. Express your thoughts. I go express my own. Make you express your own. I go express my thoughts. I go express my thoughts. To make you express your thoughts. I go express my thoughts. Yeah. I go express my thoughts.